For 1,500 years, Western Christianity has operated on what you could call a fear OS, an operating system built heavily on the mechanics of punishment, inherited guilt, and waiting out the clock in a fallen world until you die and go to heaven. The Eden Sixth Day series offers an alternative, a love OS, that rereads original Hebrew and Greek texts through the lens of 21st century physics and philosophy. This core argument completely inverts traditional dogma. It argues that Eden is happening right now, that every human carries a direct fragment of the divine breath, and that heaven is a current, actionable reality rather than a distant waiting room. Dr. Reo Youngdae Kim, an engineering PhD and theologian, structured this ecosystem across 10 volumes to address different reader needs. Because he sits at the intersection of hard science and deep faith, he divided the series into specific user paths. If you enter this ecosystem through the wrong door, you'll fail to connect with the material. Handing a dense Latin translation history book to someone who just wants daily emotional comfort guarantees immediate cognitive overload. Our goal today is to map this entire theological multiverse so you can pinpoint your exact entry coordinate. We are going to match your specific background to the right volume, preventing wasted time and ensuring you get the best intellectual return on your investment. This decision tree maps out 3 main reader profiles to help you find your starting point: the general believer, the skeptic or science-minded reader, and the big-picture explorer. If you are a burdened Christian who feels weighed down by the guilt of modern religion, your entry point is Volume 7, the popular edition. It requires a commitment of just 160 pages to achieve a shift in how you view your daily life. The trade-off with Volume 7 is its focus on emotional resonance. Because it prioritizes comfort and accessibility, it lacks the hard academic proof and citations that a skeptic would require to take the claims seriously. If you are a non-Christian or a science-minded reader, your portal is Volume 9, the Reader's Edition. This book uses logical, physics-based analogies to build a rational bridge to spiritual concepts, explaining the soul without demanding blind faith. To make that rational bridge work, Volume 9 is stripped of traditional church language. That makes it effective for engineers, but it may alienate highly conservative readers who expect standard theological terminology. Finally, if you are a big-picture explorer who wants to survey the entire landscape before committing, you need Volume 1, the Introduction. This requires reading 360 pages to grasp all 14 theological changes at a macro level. Volume 1 covers everything broadly, meaning it touches on every concept without exhausting the details. To see the actual deep-dive academic proof for any specific claim, you will have to buy the subsequent books in the series. Choosing your portal relies entirely on balancing your tolerance for academic rigor against your immediate need for practical, emotional resonance. Next, decide on function. Pull apart the engine to see how it works, or get behind the wheel and drive. The rigor track consists of Volumes 2, 4, and 10. These texts dive into the Latin translation history of the early church, organizational theology, and comparative religion. The rigor track provides the historical and scientific data showing how a specific mistranslation of Romans 5:12 created the doctrine of original sin. It offers the evidence needed to deconstruct old dogmas. Be warned, the cognitive load here is extreme. Volume 10 in particular is strictly formatted for scholars, complete with extensive footnotes and expected counterarguments. It will likely bore the average reader. On the exact opposite end is the daily practitioner track, driven by Volume 3. This book takes theology out of the classroom and places it directly into your Monday morning routine. The required input for Volume 3 involves strict implementation. You are asked to practice a 5-second rule for sorting through emotional pain, and to complete a 30-day resonance prayer challenge designed to align your daily actions with a sense of divine purpose. Volume 3 requires active implementation, from the 5-second rule to the formation of a small ecclesia group. It is a manual for lifestyle changes rather than a passive text. You must decide if you want to intellectually deconstruct your old faith or actively build new daily habits. The academic books and the practice books serve opposite specialized functions. The series also isolates 2 specific existential anchors that often hold people back: a deep attachment to church tradition and the fear of death. Volume 5 caters to the traditionalists. It re-examines the Apostles' Creed line by line, utilizing original Greek and Hebrew contexts to preserve the historic confessions while updating their applications for the 21st century. This updates the meaning of the liturgy without breaking a believer's established faith structures. However, it is useless to you if you have no personal investment in historic church creeds. For readers grappling with the dread of aging or the grief of losing a loved one, Volumes 6 and 8 are the dedicated tools for addressing mortality. Instead of vague comforts, these books model the afterlife as a physical phase transition. Death is framed as a graduation into the next space-time structure. Structurally, Volume 6 acts as the conclusion to the main series and requires you to have read the preceding core books. Volume 8 extracts that specific topic into a standalone format so you can read it immediately. Both of these books challenge deeply entrenched cultural views on ghosts, spirits, and a static heaven, which can be jarring for some readers. By isolating dogma and death into their own volumes, the series provides a framework to process these topics through the same logic and scientific analogies used in the core series. This matrix matches readers to exact books. Tired Believers, Volume 7 restores joy without guilt. Skeptical Engineers, Volume 9 offers a physics-friendly framework. Processing Grief, Volume 8 models life's transition. Pastors and Deep Thinkers, Volumes 1, 2, and 4 provide data to reform teachings. Do not buy the entire 6-volume box set right away. Consuming that much dense theology at once will likely lead to reading paralysis and cognitive overwhelm. Pick your specific coordinate. Initiate the phase transition where it makes sense for you, and see if this new operating system works in daily life.